Hey guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. I haven't done a ranking video in a hot minute, so today I thought why not do another ranking video. And today we are going to be ranking every young adult romance novel that I've read. Specifically young adult because I think I go into young adult books looking for a specific experience, which is I want my young adult books to be just light, fluffy, pure serotonin, okay? And I just get like a specific kind of high from young adult books. I think it's 20 books here to rank today. Some of them are part of series. I think there's 2 series in here. Yeah, anyway, we'll get to that. I forgot to start screen recording, so give me 1 second and let's go through my tiers for today. I've also made my own table today for this ranking instead of using the tier ranking website because, sorry, this chair is like ridiculously noisy. With the website, there's so many ads on there and I'm not paying. A bit of a struggle to get everything in the shot without getting ads in. Anyway, so my solution, I've made my own on Pages, but obviously modeled after the tier ranking one. Anyway, and our tiers, let's go through them. So, shall we start at the bottom or the top? Let's start at the bottom. Okay, bottom tier, girl, be so for real. I only have one book that I think is going in this tier, and I just think it deserves its own tier. I do think it's going to be quite a controversial opinion, so yeah, you're gonna have to wait a while for that one. The tier above that is Someone Call Eros because his domain is being disgraced. You're calling this a romance novel? You're calling this a romance novel? You think this couple is in love? I'm sorry. What? No. Eros could also be interchangeable with Aphrodite. That works too. But just, you know, the god of love. Middle tier above that, I'm a sugg and this book should be grateful for that. One thing to know about me, when it comes to romance books, I'm so easily sucked in. Like, even if I'm not having a good time, even if I'm aware that the couple is not the best, even if I don't really like the couple together, if they have like cute moments, like what am I supposed to do? I just get like so easily entertained by sweet moments between characters in a book in a romantic context. So what can I say? Oh, I meant to add Heartstopper on here, but I didn't add it in. It'd be in the top tier. Second tier from the top, Spectacular, giving 14 of them right now. This is specifically because when I read a good romance, specifically YA romance, and I have a good time and I really like it, I immediately want to go on to read another romance book. The second one never usually ends up well, but, or like never usually ends up as enjoyable as the first one, but I always get the urge to be like, oh my god, this is why I love romance. Give me another one right now. That's the same exact thing, just copy and paste. Yeah, it doesn't usually end well, but the first book always gives me that like I said, that specific high. So that is the second tier from the top. Number 1 tier, top tier, pressing charges against this book for making me feel so single. And then in parentheses, I did it to myself because yeah, I like reading about people in love and having a good time, but then I usually end the book or, you know, go through the book thinking, wow, I wish. Now, I haven't arranged these in any particular order except for the fact that I made sure that the series were in, there's 3 series in here. I knew I was missing one. They are in like the first books show up first in the list and then go down the line. First book here we have is Unstable by Carrie King. I don't know when I read this. This is, as you can probably guess, a horse romance. This was okay. I enjoyed it like well enough, but I think I recently read my Goodreads review and I'm pretty sure I said that there was like a bit of an unsatisfying ending to some degree, and I also this is just me being like nitpicky because I ride horses, but while I was reading this there was just a few like discrepancies, I guess, or like inaccuracies when it came to like the horse riding portion of it. But that's just me, again, being nitpicky. I guess this probably goes in I'm a sugg, and this book should be grateful for that. I think this probably goes in like a bit of a middle tier between spectacular and I'm a sugg, but like I had a good enough time. But yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't want to read 14 more of them. I don't think it gave me that feeling of wanting to read 14 more of them. So yeah, that's Unstable. First one off the docket, we're right in the middle. Then we get to Better Than the Movies. Immediately after reading this the first time, it would go in the top tier. Since it's been a couple years and I've also read some other books by Lynn Painter, no, I think it still belongs in the top tier. I'll get into it more when we go into the other books, 2 other books on the list from Lynn Painter, but yeah, I really did enjoy Better Than the Movies. It's just fluffy and it's cute, and I really did love it the first time I read it. I don't know how I would feel now if I went back and read it. I know a lot of people said that it's quite young adult, so maybe my feelings would change. No, at the time I like absolutely adored this book, so top tier for Better Than the Movies. Next book on the list is The Summer I Turned Pretty. Okay, now people have a lot of feelings about this series. I read this before the TV show came out. I think because I was reading it in preparation for the TV show after it got like announced or something. First book wasn't terrible, didn't mind it. Also at the same time was just baffled by how stupid these characters by how stupid these characters were, and just like, why are they all so immature? Actually, my number one pet peeve with The Summer I Turned Pretty, the first book, was Conrad. And I know this is a hot topic. There are no redeeming qualities about Conrad in the first book, and you can make up excuses all you want about him having to deal with his mum's cancer like on his own, but my guy, he was actively mean. Like, there was not one single scene in the first book, I don't think, that I can remember where he was even remotely nice to Belly. So this entire book she was pining away after Conrad, and I was just sitting there like, why? Literally, why? For what reason could you possibly have a crush on this guy who is nothing but a piece of shit, basically? Like, this goes straight into someone called Eros because his domain is being disgraced. Why? That's all I can say. I also read this, I think I would have been the same age as Belly. I must have been like 16, I'm guessing. And I was just baffled by the decisions that she was making, the things that she was saying. I was just like, how are we meant to be the same age? No. The only 2 characters I liked in the first book were Susanna and Jeremiah, which is just a bit of a frightening thing to say. Moving on. The next book is If You Could See the Sun by Anne Lang. This I really enjoyed. I think this was my first Anne Lang book, and if you don't know, I am an Anne Lang stan. I love all of her young adult romance novels. They are what I mean. They are like the template, the standard for what I'm looking for when I'm going into a young adult book, because I get that feeling every single time I read one of her books, of that like pure serotonin, that same high, you know? I think this is going in spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now, because it's been a while since I read it, and I don't know if it gave me like the quite top tier feeling as some of her others, and just because it's been so long, like I don't really remember much about it. Really cute, really fun, but yeah, as I said, every single Anne Lang book just gives me that feeling that I'm chasing. Next we have The Boy You Always Wanted, and this is one of those books that I read after reading, I think after reading an Anne Lang book. No, it's not. I read it at the end of last year, just because I needed a quick like romance to read. This is I'm a Sugg, and this book should be grateful for that. Did not love the characters, really did not love the main love interest. Didn't like the family, our main character's family. yeah, just not a fan. And also I think my other complaint was that there was just like a lot of different topics that they had going on in this book, and because there was so much going on, we just didn't get enough time to explore each of those topics in depth enough. Yeah, so overall, wasn't a huge fan, but at the same time, whenever our main characters, or our main character and love interest, would have like cute little romantic moments, I'd be a puddle. Ew, no. I just, I thought it was cute. Except I just didn't think that they were a good couple. I didn't understand why they were together. Gwen and Art are not in love. I, to be honest, remember so little of this book. I don't even know how long it's been. It's only been a few years, but I read this book and it immediately like went out of my brain, but I do know that I had a good time. I will, I think, be doing a reread for the sequel that's coming out this year, but I don't know where to put this. I don't remember it well enough to, I think, say spectacularly giving 14 of them right now, because like, what am I asking for? Nothing? Because I don't remember. But it's also not, I'm a sook and this book should be grateful for that, because I liked it. I liked it more than that. I think I'm just going to put it in spectacular giving 14 of them right now, with the asterisks of I don't actually remember what happened. But anyway, next up, I have not ever spoken about this on my channel, I don't think, but like years and years ago, I came across the third book actually of the Girl Online series by Sugg when I was just like in Kmart and we were walking past the book section and I saw Zoe's name and I was like, so I picked up the third book. I think it must have been around the time that the third book released. I don't know. So I started the series by reading the third book and then backtracked and went back to find the first and second book. Yeah, but we're gonna start with the first book. Again, this is another one that I don't really remember too much of, especially like the first and second. I remember the third one. I should have added a memory loss tier here, but whatever, it's fine. I know there's some controversy around this book because allegedly Zoe didn't write it herself. Either way, I don't really care. I was really happy that I read this book when I was younger because the main character, Penny, she has anxiety, and this is the only book that I've ever read, I think still to this day, that has represented anxiety in a way that I can relate to. My anxiety is still different to how this main character experiences it, and I think how Zoe experiences it, but yeah, it was the only book that I've ever come across that represented my anxiety in a way that I can relate to, and yeah, it was just kind of special to me for that. And also it's about a blogger dating a guy from a band. Peak like 2015 One Direction era. So it was just a really fun time, and I think I might put it in spectacular giving 14 of them right now. Next up is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, and this is the sequel to Better Than the Movies. I think I'm a sook and this book should be grateful for that. I can appreciate the fact that obviously not every couple from a romance book or books in general is going to be like a till the end of time couple, it's not. Sometimes they won't work out and that's fine. And I think that's kind of what Lynn was exploring in this, but the reason they broke up, spoiler, look, it is what it is. I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk about it. The reason they broke up, I feel like it's just not good enough. Liz was just like kind of an entirely different character in this book, because Better Than the Movies, like I said, she is like lover girl number one. She's obsessed with film, she's obsessed with romance films specifically, and because she broke up with her high school sweetheart in the second book, she's like anti-love. And it just, I don't know, it was just like, did we really need this book? I would say not, but anyway, I think it's kind of made worse because the first book, as well as the like 5 short stories, novellas that goes along with the first book, kind of all like portray Liz and Wes as like the ultimate couple, So it's like, well, Why are we breaking them up now? Okay. But yeah, I just think, was it necessary? You know, I actually think, now that I'm thinking about it, I might put The Boy You Always Wanted in Someone Called Eros. Again, I just like didn't understand why they were a couple. I think that feels better to me because I definitely enjoyed Nothing Like the Movies more than The Boy You Always Wanted. Moving on to Tokyo Ever After by Amiko Jean. Again, I read this a few years ago. I think I'm gonna put this one in here. This is another one where like I don't have that many feelings towards it now, but I know that I really enjoyed it when I first read it. Yeah, I think it's just like a cute little book. I don't think I had any particular issues with it, but again, it's just not one that's really stuck with me. So yeah, Tokyo Ever After. There is also a second book, I believe, but I have not read that because I would have to go back and read the first one and I just haven't really felt the need to do that. So yeah, still a cute book, still a fun book. Next up we have The Harper Effect. I Am Not Jessica Chen by Anne Lang. Pressing charges against this book for making me feel so single. Yeah, this was really, really fun. As, like I said, Anne Lang just nail on the head for young adult romances. They just don't get better than Anne Lang. Oh, It's Not Someone Without You. This could very easily go in the bottom tier, but I'm keeping it here for now. I think I just remember being like unspeakably irritated with every single character in this book. It's hard to remember like the differences between the books and the show. Like I remember what happens in the second season of the show. The book, however, we're fuzzy. But I think it just comes back to them being like so ridiculously immature for their ages and not being able to make a sound decision to save their lives. So that's a disgrace in the name of love. Next up we have Even If It Breaks Your Heart by Erin Hahn. This goes straight in pressing charges against this book for making me feel so single. This was on my top favorite books of 2025 list. This just stuck with me. I read it in January, I think, of 2025. And it just stuck with me throughout the whole year. In very stark contrast to The Summer I Turned Pretty, the characters in this series are so like good at communicating and having a healthy relationship, despite the fact that they have both gone through really traumatic experiences and aren't the best at communicating and, you know, doing all that stuff. And maybe they're not used to being in a healthy relationship or a relationship at all, but they're doing their best and they're a really good team, work together really well. Yeah, I just loved this book, not only for the romance, but also because the fact that it deals with grief in a way that I really, really liked and found comforting. And yeah, I just think everyone should give this book a go. Also, it's a horse book, so I was really craving like reading about horses at the time, and it gave me the exact energy that I was needing from this book. So yeah. Also, I feel like I keep doing this with my face. I'm sitting in front of my window and the sun is like really strong, even though it's not even sunny outside, it's cloudy. Anyway, next up we have Girl Online on Tour. This again goes into Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now. I think from memory I would say that I liked the second book. Oh, maybe a bit more, I don't know. But again, it just falls into the same category of I liked the romance, I liked the setting, I liked the representation of anxiety that I could really relate to. Next is This Time It's Real by Anne Lang. Again, straight to the top tier. This might be my favorite Anne Lang book. Ooh, I think this one and the next book in the list, which you can probably maybe see, they are kind of tied for top spot. Yeah, this is just really, really cute. I'm a sucker for fake dating. I love the fake dating. Does Gwen and Art Are Not in Love count as fake dating? Because Gwen and Art fake date, but they're not the ones that fake date and fall in love. Next up, we have Not Here to Be Liked by Michelle Kwok. This I read after I read one of Anne Lang's books. Oh, no, I read it after This Time It's Real because I remember the main characters' names were the same. And I was like, I read This Time It's Real and specifically looked, I got that high and I was like, I need another one. And I specifically looked for something that would be essentially the same book. And I thought it was really funny that I found Not Here to Be Liked, and it turned out the main character's name is also Eliza. This is going in, I'm a sugg, and this book should be grateful for that. Like I said, when I get that high and I like look for another book that's exactly the same, it usually doesn't end up going as well the second time around for the second book. It usually just doesn't quite give me that same feeling as I got from the first one. This one I enjoyed. I definitely liked it more than The Boy You Always Wanted. I think I liked the romance better in this book and like the surrounding characters, and I think maybe more of like the topics that we follow. I liked the discussion on feminism. I don't think it really brought that much like new perspective to the table. Like I think it was fairly surface level, but I do remember thinking that this would be a good book to read for like middle schoolers, because I think it does a good job at covering like the bases of misogyny and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I liked that aspect of it. I also liked the romance. I think my problem with this is that like our main character is kind of the feminist that makes fun, or no, not kind of, she is the type of feminist that makes fun of other girls for being girly or liking boys. And it's like, well, that's not very feminist of you, is it now? And then over the course of this book, she starts to gain feelings for the guy that she started all of this discussion for. So now she has to kind of struggle with the fact that she feels like she wants to dress a little bit nicer. I think she starts wearing makeup or something, which could have been a fun thing to explore, because I'm someone who went through that phase of being like, ew, girly stuff, until I realized I'm a girl. I can like girly stuff. It's not embarrassing to like girly stuff, and it shouldn't be. And I think that could have been an interesting arc, but she never really had, I'm going like a full review of this book apparently. She never really had like a conclusion to her character arc where she realized that she was being misogynistic in herself by judging other girls for doing that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think it was interesting, and I like I said, I think it would be good for youngish kids to read, or I guess youngish teens to read, because yeah, I think it does a fairly good job at covering those topics. Yeah, still not my favorite, I think, especially because I read it after reading one of Anne Lang's books, whichever one it was. Not Here to Be Liked, I'm a sugg, and this book should be grateful for that. Enjoyed it, but like not quite there. Oh, We'll Always Have Someone. Now this is the controversial opinion. She is going straight in here. Okay, this is a whole conversation topic in and of itself, but say what you will about Jeremiah. I hate him in the show. Like, he is terrible. What does Belly see in him? Seriously, ever? In the books. I really liked Jeremiah to start off with, and when Belly and Jeremiah first got together, I was like, yes. Actually, I don't know if I was that enthusiastic when they first got together, because I think he annoyed me in the second book. I was like, okay, this is preferable to Conrad, because Conrad was just a jerk. I don't want to hear your excuses, okay? He was a jerk. You can't deny it. And then we get to We'll Always Have Summer. And not to spoil it, I'm not gonna say what happens. But if you know what happens, you know what I'm talking about in the first, literal couple of chapters of We'll Always Have Summer. Again, say what you will about Jeremiah, but when it comes to the books, that incident, completely out of character for him. And I'm not even in a sense of like being a Jeremiah defender, okay? Don't care. But just in the sense of irritation at trying to, like, I think Jenny Han didn't have a reason for Belly and Jer not to be together, so she just created this situation which made it like just impossible for them to be together, which then pushes Belly back to Conrad. And then like the whole wedding thing. I did not finish this book because this made me so mad. Just absolutely speechless at the absurdity that was We'll Always Have Summer. And I know everyone says like, oh my god, the end of We'll Always Have Summer, you completely understand Conrad. I don't think anything he could say when it comes to the books could justify his actions and his behavior and his attitude. Again, I understand what he was going through. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's just such a... Anyway, we don't need to have a full discussion. He is way better in the show, I think. Chris brings a kind of just a good energy to Conrad's character, where you can tell that he's just a bit sad rather than being an absolute like piece of work. You can tell that he's like actually a nice person, but he's going through stuff, okay? He's trying, but it's just a tough time. Book could not care less about Conrad. Yeah, anyway, so that goes in Girl Be So For Real. It's its whole own category. Nothing else is going in there. I made that specifically for this book because it pissed me off so much. I cannot stand that book. Anyway, moving on to Figure Skating by Lynn Painter. I think in terms of vibes, I would put this book in Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now. I said earlier that I talk a little bit about my feelings with Better Than the Movies now and like Lynn Painter's writing and all that. Fake Skating contains like quite a few similarities to Better Than the Movies, which I was just like gradually picking up on as I was reading Fake Skating. And I really enjoyed this book, but I was just a little bit sus of how many similarities there were between Fake Skating and Better Than the Movies. Yeah, I had a good time. It was really cute. I really enjoyed my time with it, but maybe it goes in I'm a Sugg then. I don't know. This is too hard. It was a fun book. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna leave it in Spectacular because I had a good time. We'll leave it at that. Next up, I hope this doesn't find you, again, Anne Lang, straight to the top. Between This Time It's Real and I Hope This Doesn't Find You, they are neck and neck for my favorite Anne Lang book. It's just fun. It's really fun and I like it. And again, it just gives me that specific high that I only get from young adult romances. Last but not least, we have Girl Online, the third book. And this is, again, Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now. Yeah, like I said, I actually read the third book first before I read the first or second book. I remember this one a little bit more than I do the first two. And honestly, I don't know how I read this and like had a good time because it's like obviously the third book in the series, there's lots of things that are following on from the previous books. How I knew what was happening, I did not know. And also how I knew who, no, I can't say that, that's a spoiler. But yeah, again, it just comes back to the fact that like, one, I really did enjoy the romance. Two, the anxiety representation, I really appreciated. And yeah, that is my ranking of all the young adult romance books that I have read. I think I was kind of in the mood to make a romance related video because I'm currently reading a romance by Cat Sebastian, not a young adult romance. Oh, speaking of, when I was going through my Goodreads to find like all the young adult romances that I read, tell me why I found Red, White, and Royal Blue in my young adult shelf. Sorry, what? I was like, I had to think for a minute. I was like, is it only in the movie that it's like, you know? And I was like, whoa, no, I got a flashback. I was like, that is not young adult. What was I on? Was I feeling okay when I decided to put that in young? Yeah, so that is my ranking of all the young adult books that I have read. Surprisingly, I mean, not really surprisingly, there's only been a few books that I really haven't liked. Well, I fear people are going to not appreciate that I put The Summer I Turned Pretty all in the lowest possible tiers. But you know what, it's fine, that's my opinion, so whatever. Let me know if you would like me to make a video on all of the adult romances that I read and do a ranking for that. Let me know what young adult romance you would put in the top tier and the bottom tier, and whether or not you agree with my opinions. No, actually don't. Some of them. If you agree with me, then you can let me know. That is all for today. And yeah, thank you again so much for watching this video. I will see you all next time. Bye.